Welcome back again. Now we will complete Unit 9. We take Lesson 1, 2 and Lesson 3. Now we will take the rest of the lessons. We will start with Lesson 4. Okay. Lesson 4. Lesson 4 speaks about modal verbs. We have some modal verbs we should know, and we should know how to use them. Or what are these modal verbs? We have the first one, have to, don't have to. When I use have to and don't have to, I know now. Must, mustn't, should, shouldn't, ought to, ought not to. Okay, primary. So these are our modal verbs today. Have to, don't have to. Must, mustn't, should, shouldn't, ought to, ought not to. Okay, pay attention and look with me here. Okay, here. You have to study hard as you have an exam. If you have an exam, you have to study hard. Today, for example, tomorrow you have an exam of science. You have to study hard. You don't have to buy any food. I have already bought. You don't have. Okay, so when I use have to and don't have to, I use have to and don't have to talk about something necessary, something that was necessary that I should do it. You have to wear your uniform in your school. Okay, necessary. It was necessary. Okay, you have to listen to your mom, to the words of your mom carefully. Okay, so we use have to, don't have to talk about something necessary. Okay, necessary. Okay, we may use also doesn't have to with what he, she, it, or any singular noun. Okay, primary. So the first two modal verbs, have to and don't have to, we use them to talk about something which is what necessary, something which is what necessary. After that, we will take must and mustn't. Must and mustn't. Must, you must keep silent in hospital because the patient was very ill and don't want to listen to any words. You mustn't smoke in petrol station. Okay, يعني primary. You mustn't smoke. Okay, we use must or mustn't for rules that you should do. For example, in our class we have some rules. One of the rules, you mustn't speak when the teacher spoke. Yes. Okay, so must and mustn't, we use it for what? Rule that I should do and should do. It's a rule, we will do it. Okay, so have to, don't have to for what? Something necessary. Must, mustn't, rule. In hospital you don't speak, keep silent. In petrol station, don't smoke. Yes. Don't you mustn't use matches for the children under 5 years, for example, or under 6 or under 7. You mustn't use matches. Okay, the last one, we use should, shouldn't, ought to, ought not to. We have should, shouldn't, ought to, not to. You should listen to your teacher. You shouldn't stay up late on school days. You ought to stay with your friends. You ought not to bring jewelry to school. Should, shouldn't, ought not to. Use should and shouldn't, ought to, ought not to for advice. To give advice to some person or to advise him to make something. You should go to the doctor you look very tired. You should go to the doctor, or you ought to. Okay, primary. So we have some modal verbs. We have to, don't have to, don't have to, and has to, and have to, don't have to, doesn't have to, and had to, has to. I use it with singular also. Hadn't in the past. Okay, primary. We have had to, something which was necessary. Must and mustn't for rules. Should, shouldn't, ought not to for advice. Okay. After all the modal verbs, we have the infinitive. We have what, your primary? The infinitive. We have what? Infinitive. Okay. Here we have some sentences in rewrite. And the grammar we take. I didn't buy the laptop as I didn't have enough money. I didn't buy the laptop because I didn't have enough money. I should use if. So, if I had enough money. Look, I had, past perfect, had, it's PP, enough money. I would have bought لابتوب. لو انا معايا money كفاية انا اكيد هشتري اللابتوب ده. Okay, it isn't necessary for he to do all the work today. عايزنا نستخدم he for she to do all the work today. يبقى isn't necessary. We say necessary. If we found and we write the word necessary, we should use what? Have to or don't have to. It isn't يبقى what? Have to or don't. But here we have she. I use don't? No, I use doesn't. Look, doesn't have to do all the work today. Number 3, it's a good idea for him to attend the party. Use should. Good idea. It's an advice. يبقى he should attend the party. You shouldn't waste your time watching TV. He won't, you ought. Okay, shouldn't زي ought not to. You ought not to waste your time watching TV. The film was boring, so he didn't watch it. We use if. If the film was boring, this sentence is right or wrong? Who can tell me? Yes, excellent. Wrong. What is wrong? Was here is very wrong. We should use what? What, your primary? Yes, had plus PP been. What's the PP of verb to be? We said before the last unit. Being. Yes, excellent, primary. Excellent. Okay, he wouldn't have watched it. Okay, primary. Now we will take lesson 5 and 6. Okay, reading a text. Okay, Robinson Crusoe. Pay attention with me and listen to me carefully. Robinson Crusoe was sailing to Africa when his ship hit the rocks in a terrible storm. Terrible. What's the meaning of terrible? Very, very bad. What's the meaning of storm? Very bad weather with strong winds and rain. Bad weather with what? Strong what? Wind and what? Rain. Okay. He swam to the shore and discovered he was the only survivor. Survivor. What's the meaning of survivor? He is a person who lives after something which happened to him, which is very dangerous. Survivor is a person who lived after what? After being in danger, in an accident or in a shipwreck or anything. The next day, he swam out to his shipwreck. We take shipwreck before, if you remember. It was on some rocks near the island. He brought back tools and other useful supplies. What's the meaning of supplies? Who can tell me? Supplies are the things that we need to have with us to live, such as food. Okay, then he looked for a place to build a shelter. What's the meaning of shelter? A small building that can keep us safe from bad weather. Shelter, a small building that can save you or can save us from what your primary from what yes, who can tell me? From bad weather. Excellent. Okay, let's complete. There were some hills around me, so I decided to build myself a small house on one of them. I walked to the top of the highest hill and looked down. I was very unhappy because I saw then that I was on an island. There were two smaller islands a few miles away, and after that only the sea, just the sea, for meal after meal after meal. I was all alone, not anyone with him. After time I found a little cave in the side of the hill. In front of it there was a good place to make a home. So I used the ship's sails. You need the sails? All of you know, I know. A piece of material on a ship that I use to blow into to move the ship, okay? Rope and pieces of wood. And after a lot of hard work, I had a very fine tent like that he does in this picture, okay? The cave at the back of my tent was a good place to keep my food, and so I called it my kitchen. That night I went to sleep in my new home. The next day I thought about the possible dangers on the island. Were there wild animals and perhaps wild people too on my island? I didn't know, but I was very afraid. So I decided to build a very strong fence. What's the meaning of fence? Who can tell me what's the meaning of fence? Fence, something that I can build it of wood or metal around a piece of island to stop animals come in or getting into me. Okay, I cut down young trees, cut the trees, okay, and put them in the ground. I have a circle around the front of my tent. I used many of the ship's ropes too, and in the end of my fence was as strong as a strong wall. All of you know the meaning of wall. I felt safer when I had finished the fence. No one could get over it, through it, or around it. Okay, a primary. Here, this man, built a what for him? Built a what, a primary? A home for him to be safe. Okay, he make a shelter first and make a home for him, and he have some supplies because he is the only survivor from the shipwreck, and he after that make a fence because he was afraid from the wild animals or wild people. Okay, now we finished unit 9 and lesson 5 and 6. Now we will answer the questions in workbook on the 3 lessons. Here the answers of lesson 4. Here we have the answers of lesson 5 and 6. Make it in your home primary, okay? Goodbye.